Large automakers often dream to produce world cars, models they are able to sell in several territories with minimal variation. Yet, over and above luxury cars, your number of true world cars happens to be pretty small on account of the costs related to meeting various national regulations. While the current Ford Fiesta stands as the best instances of the genre, selling well on both sides in the Atlantic and farther afield, its club membership soon can be revoked. Europe gets a new and Fiesta, but there aren't any confirmed intents to bring it to America. High's improved agility, more content, nicer cabin trimmings. Low's high price, deficiency of a sedan model, and limited automatic transmissions declare that US sales certainly are a low priority. The Fiesta is definitely a European car mainly because it was launched in 1976. The new iteration is definitely the 7th distinct generation. Exactly the first and current 6th generation cars were offered within the United States. That's contributed only a small area of total sales that will have surpassed the 18 million mark worldwide. As both Ford's biggest seller in Europe plus the long-time number-one best-selling car inside the United Kingdom, it's no real shock that Ford has invested big in this particular spiffy brand new one. Party of 3. The new Fiesta proves that Europe's enthusiasm for downsized power plants shows no indications of abating. Apart from a 1-hour 5-litre diesel inland four, that's expected to comprise less than 10% of sales, the brand new Fiesta will likely be powered entirely by 3-cylinder gasoline engines. Entry-level versions makes use of a naturally aspirated 1.1-litre unit that could come in 69 and 84 horsepower states of tune, using a smaller but punchier EcoBoost turbocharged 1.0-litre positioned above and for sale in 99, 123, and 138 horsepower flavors. Ford affords the current Fiesta while using 123 horsepower EcoBoost triple in America. European buyers are going to be able to choose from 2 and Fords or hatchbacks, but they won't become a sedan in the newest lineup, therefore we would likely see just the Fords or which is a junk. Sales will likely be strongly biased toward manual transmissions, but there's the option of a 6-speed automatic, which are going to be offered exclusively while using 98 horsepower 1.0-litre engine. Mechanically, the newest Fiesta sticks as closely to the present car's recipe being a novice chef. The new car grows a little bit on the same global car architecture which has been in use because the 6th-gen model found its way to 2008. There's a 2.8-inch stretch in overall length although simply a 0.2-inch surge in wheelbase, with suspension still by struts in the front and a torsion beam axle for the rear. Ford, keep in mind, remains skilled at trimming pennies from engineering expenses. Naturally aspirated Fiestas could have only 5 speeds inside their manual transmissions, as well as the less powerful models will ship with rear drum brakes. The exterior design is evolved, marked using a variation with the current Fiesta's toothy Aston Martin-esque grille at the cab end and larger, horizontal tail lights on the rear. The interior feels substantially different, with nicer feeling plastics, better control ergonomics, along with a significant rise in equipment. Ford is keen to push the supply of big car features to buyers searching for smaller cars, with the newest Fiesta offering adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning with lane keeping assist, parking assist which is a 360-degree camera, automatic high beams, as well as a camera-based pedestrian detection system with automated emergency braking. While mid-spec models have a 6.5-inch touchscreen interface, range-topping versions have a sizable 8.0-inch screen running Ford's latest Sync 3 infotainment package, with all the screen floating with a separate binnacle across the central event. Space is perfect for front seat occupants, with lots of adjustment for both the seat as well as the steering wheel. Rear seat room feels similar to the present car, tight for adults but reasonable to children. Improved agility. It's on the highway where the modern Fiesta puts clear sky between itself along with the current Gen U.S. spec car. While the Fiesta is definitely rewarding to guide, that one feels better in each other and every key regard. Humble grip levels are offset by keen responses, giving this Ford an agility that few economy cars can match. ride quality, and this is excellent, particularly for something by using these a modest wheelbase, and however the steering is light, genuine feedback is passed for the rim. It's impressively quiet, too, Ford having started give a hushed cruising experience. The overall effect is usually a car that feels both subjectively bigger plus more expensive of computer actually is. We drove two versions in the turbocharged 1.0-litre, the essential 99 horsepower unit using the automatic plus the livelier 123 horsepower edition having a manual. Although it is going to be a minority choice in Europe, the automatic impressed more, shifting smoothly under low intensity use and delivering intelligent kickdowns when motivated to go faster. The auto can also help to disguise the small engine's tendency toward turbo lag by downshifting to spin the engine into life. The lag was a lot more obvious inside the more powerful car below 3,000 revolutions per minute, once the driver either manages the downshifts or endures the weight for boost. Both of such boosted three-cylinder engines are likely to work harder than most small turbos, revving to a 6,500 revolutions per minute limiter without ever feeling too tight. Unlike the three-cylinder Europe spec Golf 1.0 TSI that people recently drove, the EcoBoost Fiesta never delivers a V6-ish three-cylinder soundtrack, the sole clue on the paucity of spark plugs just as one occasionally lumpy idle. The manual gearbox is usually a mild disappointment. Ford has produced some with the finest mass-market sticks from the world, but although 6-speed shifts cleanly and accurately, it doesn't develop the crispness we associate using the company's slickest transmissions, the Focus RS being the exemplar on this regard. The clutch in our test car also engaged low, and suddenly, in its pedal travel, making smooth low-speed progress much more of a challenge PC should have been. Prices are not petite. There's grounds Europeans get a different and improved Fiesta a long time before we do. They will pay significantly more for it. In the UK, the brand new entry-level 1.1 style costs £12,715, comparable to $16,600 at current FX rates. That includes the 20% value-added tax VAT, but nonetheless. The 123 horsepower 1.0T titanium two-door manual we drove listed at £18,550 having a modest smattering of options. That compatible a very solid $20,150, which means even before VAT it costs nearly almost as much as US buyers spend on the range-topping Fiesta Street. We've been here before. Europe got an Audi Focus hatchback in 2004 that had been platform buddies using the Volvo S40 as well as the Mazda 3. Basically we had to make do having a heavy facelift on the aging original car instead. Let's hope that doesn't happen this time around and that Ford will make the numbers work. Our Fiesta continues to be a fine car, but this an alternative one is substantially better.